The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne podcast.
I get quite a bit.
What? Why are you already laughing?
I get quite a bit when people text me and I have no idea who it is for like a while.
Oh, okay.
And I find myself in like conversations with people just because I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah.
And I have no idea who it is.
So you got to put context in the name straight away. So it's got to be like...
No, I don't have any name. It's just like there's a number just come up. So it's someone that I've obviously...
You just give your number out willy-nilly.
When I'm drunk.
Yeah.
I go, yeah, mate, give me a call or something like that. So, and this was one that I did. It goes back to the 18th of October last year.
Yes.
And it started with, I didn't think that would be the announcement.
What, text message?
Yeah, the text message to me. I didn't think that would be the announcement, which I presume at the 18th of October last year was the show.
Oh, that was when Suze was leaving.
I presume that was when Susie
announced
left.
that she was going, yeah.
So that I'm like, well, that could be anyone. So I haven't replied at all to this person. So
That was like me. That was like me, Nikki, when you first texted me.
Yeah, you ghosted me completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you called yourself Osborne.
So
Yeah, I did.
Could have been anyone.
thought
And
it
I was
a
like-
a dude called Osborne. And
I
was
reached
like,
out.
I don't know anyone called Osborne.
And then I just thought you were a rude bastard
Yeah.
who didn't want me on board.
Well, that's what happened. Because then that was the 18th of October. I just do nothing. Then 10th of Feb this
So
year.
you didn't respond to that
No,
either.
I
Right.
haven't responded
Okay.
at all.
Yeah.
10th of Feb, then I get 5 times 15 equals 75. And I don't even remember the context. I presume that might have been smarter than Nikki.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
we would've been
Sounds
back-
like something I would have got wrong.
Back on air by then. So it's someone just chiming in, something like some listener that I've met that's just chiming in now with stuff over and over.
Sounds like we're a fascinating person to talk to.
Then 28th of February is the next one. Hey, mate, it's me. And I remember that one because I'd been to a lunch at Suncorp Stadium. It was like some sort of, I don't know, like a budget / Olympic, I don't know, something like that. I remember that I was with the Shrindog. I interviewed the Shrindog on stage, but I'd spoken to 100 people that day.
The Premier.
So hey, no, the Lord Mayor.
Oh, the Mayor.
And so, hey, mate, it's me. Could have been anyone. So I've just left it again. Thinking, oh, well, he's not asking me any questions here, or he or she. So I let it fly again.
You really need to adopt the phrase new phone, who this?
June 4 was just realised that funny skit is Nikki. And then he had the link to that skit you did with the Rose with
Oh, right. Yeah, the Rose Job with Troy Kinney.
with Troy Kinney,
Yes.
which is a pretty famous skit.
Yes.
that, we all know, very, very funny. And again, I don't know who it is, so it's not asking me any questions. Let it fly once again.
So what? Where are we? We're in June now.
Yeah, June 9 then, 5 days later, still need to get through today's game, which I presume at that stage we're talking Origin, and he's talking about a player that needs to get through a game to get to Origin. I don't know, some reference to something we're talking about on air, so it's just someone listening to the show.
And you're way too deep now that you can't ask who it is now.
I'm
you're too deep.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, oh, it's just someone.
But wait, have you not responded to any...
Not at any stage have I responded.
You got to give them points for perseverance.
They're persevering, right? And then Tuesday just gone, this Tuesday, just gone a couple of days ago, 2 days ago, I'm talking to Foggy, our mate Foggy, my mate Foggy, right? So Ash and I know, have known
Yeah, of course, Foggy.
Foggy for years. We're having a conversation about whatever. Well, just a mate of ours who used to be on Triple M radio back in the day. And
Well, you got Foggy's number.
yeah, so I'm talking to Foggy, having a normal conversation. At the end of the conversation, he goes, by the way, are you brushing Darren? And I'm like, Darren who?
With an L on the front?
Darren Lockyer.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I go, what do you mean? I'm not brushing. He says he's been contacting you.
Stop it.
And you haven't been replying to him. And I'm going, no. And I've gone, what's his number? I've gone back, checked the number. It's been Darren. I've been brushing the next immortal since October last year. I have not been
That's
replying
hilarious.
to Darren Lockyer. So on Tuesday, I
thought you were going to say for some reason that it was actually Shrindog that you'd
No.
that Shrindog was doing it, but the fact that it's Lockyer is like
it's
even
worse.
way worse. So I write, mate, I was just talking to Foggy.
Well, now
this
you
has
respond to him.
been you. He's been texting me. I didn't have your number saved. I'm so sorry. And he writes back, you are rude and arrogant, David. And then he wrote, all good, mate. I assumed you thought I was a random stalker.
Have you put his names in there now?
Yes, I put his name in now, obviously. Darren Lockyer, right there now. How embarrassing.
Oh, that's funny.
That is funny.
He kept persevering.
Bloody oath, yeah.
It makes sense with that show stuff because he's pulled me aside on the sideline at the Broncos, going, "I love the show." Like he loves the show enough to be sending you through live feedback.
That's so funny. Oh, well, treat him mean, keep him keen.
The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne podcast.
Jody and I did some gardening at our unit. We've got a little planter box outside of the and it cops all the salt air. Like we're close to the water, so it's like it's hard and it's windy, so it's hard to sort of put stuff in there to get it to grow.
Succulents, will they survive? Bingo.
Hey yo!
Anyone would think I was married to a landscape architect.
So, well, after much trial and error, we
Yes.
went, you know what, let's whack succulents in there because the lady actually said these things thrive on neglect.
They do.
And I was like, yeah, that is like...
That or bougainvillea.
That is, yeah.
What are succulents? Are they like?
Like,
Yeah, they're cactus plants, like
Yes, yeah.
where they're nurturing. They don't really need anything.
don't need a lot of water. It's got a sandy base, so it's just sort of perfect. So we did that, but then we got these, and hopefully they'll go well. Okay, but it does looks really cool. It's like, oh, if they take, that's going to look really good. But then we've got two big pot plants that we didn't know what to put in them. Jody wanted to put magnolias in them, but
No.
we've seen the people's next door and theirs didn't work, and we're like, that ain't going to work.
It's like our magnolia on our Nova deck here.
Yes,
It's just, We
yes.
just keep watching
Yeah.
replacements die
Yeah, horrible.
slowly.
It's like we're keeping the magnolia companies in business by just replacing them and they're not that cheap either.
No, they're not.
So after the success of the succulents in the garden bed,
Yes.
Jode said, why don't we just put some big cactuses, like you know, the big
Yeah.
cactuses. Remember we got that photo shoot done?
Yes, we did the Palm Springs stuff,
yeah,
the
of
Slim
course.
Aaron shoot with
Yeah,
the big
yeah,
cacti.
yeah.
And that guy had big cacti and it was
Cactus
like...
house.
Cactus house. It was magnificent.
Yeah.
Potting one of those bad boys is a nightmare.
Well,
Would be.
well, what we did,
Yeah.
so this was it. Is that Jody said like, they've got them at Bunnings.
Yes.
So I went, well, I'll go out to Bunnings, and she couldn't come with us. So I said, but I'll FaceTime you because I don't want to select the cactus. I'll FaceTime you when I'm at Bunnings in the nursery, and I'll show you what they've got, and you can make the choice, and I'll bring them home. So we did that, and she chose these two big cactuses, like real tall ones.
Yes.
Right? And so I bought two of them, and I'm like, oh, I'll just whack them in the back of the car.
Yeah, you just whack them in, hey? Just whack them in.
I'll put them in the back. I can fold my back seat up in my ute, and I was like, I'll sit down on the in the back seat. I'll sit
Yeah.
down on the floor. And I wheel them outside. And I go, these things are too tall. They're not going to fit in the cabin. I tried to get them in the cabin, and they wouldn't fit in the cabin. And I just wasn't expecting that we'd get.
What about
these-
your tray?
the tray back?
Yeah.
Well, that's where I had to go, but I didn't want to put them in the tray back because I was like at Ashmore, and I got to drive all the way into Surface.
And plants don't like wind.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be in the
So,
car.
I wouldn't fit in
No,
there
it'll
and shut
damage
it
them.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so I couldn't fit them in.
God, they're big.
I couldn't fit them in the cabin. Yeah, and I'm like, I can't lay them down in the cabin because they'll just all fall out.
Oh, right.
So I had to put them in the tray back. I did have to put them in the
Right.
tray back, but I put them inside like a little container I've got, and some bloke walks past and goes, "Oh, that's risky, Ash." That's what he said to me as he was walking to his car, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is going to end bad." Like I didn't even have like anything that could.
So have you put them on their side?
No.
No, they're sitting
I-
upright.
I had them in a container.
Yeah.
And then I got I had some towels
Yep.
and stuff that I wedged all around so that so that within the container that I had the two
Yep.
cactuses,
Yep.
it was they were sort of wedged in there. And I
Yes.
felt quite confident.
Uh-huh.
And then as I was driving out of Bunnings, I got to go over the the
Speed
speed
bumps.
bumps. And I'm doing not even 10k an hour. I go over the speed bump and I'm looking and I see these two cactuses in the back and I'm like, oh man. And they were expensive. They were like I think they were $110 each or something. So,
Yes.
so I've just dropped $220 on these two cactuses and I've still got to get 10k back home. And I'm hopping on a road where the speed limit's like 70 and I'm like, oh, I'm not
You haven't
doing
left the car park.
I get out of Bunnings and I start driving and I'm doing like about 30 and I went, nah, this doesn't feel good. I pull the car over and I rework it and all the rest of it. Long story short, I took every back road
Yes.
the whole way back home. And when I was on the main roads, I was doing like, you were talking about people should get fined for going under the speed limit.
Yeah, except for people with plants in the back.
That would have been me because I got these two cactuses. I was going so slow. I was so embarrassed. I was like, thank God for tinted windows. And I refused to get eye contact with anybody. Like if I stopped at a red light, I was just like, I was looking down. I'm not getting eye contact with one person here. I made it all the way. We're like at the north of Surface, like between sort of Surface and at Narrowneck there,
Yeah.
And out the front of our building, there's a crossing. I'd made it the whole way home. Mm-hmm. I'm coming up. All I had to do is get past this crossing and drive into the driveway, and then Jode would be waiting there. And this person comes flying out onto the crossing, and I had to brake.
Oh, no.
No joke. I had to I made it the whole way back from Bunnings. I had to brake as quick as I could, and one of the cactuses had fallen straight over, and it hit my the tornado cover thing that I had opened on the.
So it's torn that?
No, it broke a whole leg of the cactus off. The cactus was like, it was one stalk that went up to 2. And now it's just one stalk that
goes up to 1. And I was spewing. And then this person... Will they grow back?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, maybe. But in 140 years.
The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne podcast.
Now, it's interesting that as society, we just accept that when you get married, you take the man's surname. Now, that's what we've been doing for a very long time. And then as a default, when you have a baby, the baby automatically gets the groom's surname, the father's surname. Now, in Italy, if you're not married, they're looking to make it a default setting that the baby automatically gets the mother's name, and we talked about that. But there's more and more people women are wanting him to take her surname. And it's very challenging because traditionally that's not what we've done. But I'm starting to go, well, why not? Why not?
Are you able to do that?
Legally?
Yes, you are legally able. You're even legally able to hybrid your name, so you can put your two surnames together.
Yeah. Well, you see that from time to time. You don't really see the guy taking the girl's name very often, do you?
No, but it is starting to happen more. And I saw on the gram, it was an American wedding, and the bride and groom were rock, paper, scissoring. So it was the best of 3 as to who gets whose surname. And it ended up...
God.
She won. So he's taking her surname, Hunter. And it just made me wonder, are there people in Brisbane who are doing this? So 13 24 10, if you've taken your wife's surname or if your child's just automatically taken...
It does suck for it that's the tradition as a girl, that you just all of a sudden you lose your name and you have to just adopt somebody else's name.
And it's a big decision too. It is hard because I still struggle with identifying myself on the ATO website because I've got a married name, which is different to my working name. Often I miss my tax payments, or I'll miss not paying them, then paying me, or
so hang on, your married name
even
is what?
Medicare can be a nightmare, or booking travel can be a nightmare.
Is your married name which
Star?
Is what? So you're married. So your actual name's Osborne and your married name's Star.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I kept
I thought it was the other way
Osborne.
around.
No, it sounds like that.
My
doesn't
mum
it?
says she couldn't change her last name quick enough because...
What was it?
Well,
Dick slap.
no, it was Snell.
Ooh, yeah, that's not good.
And so
It sounds like a New Zealand name.
they would get Smelly Snally and all that at school. But so she went from Snell to Bradnam, and she was like, oh,
Yeah, I like that.
I think that's an upgrade. I'll take that. But her sister, my Auntie Mark, she went from being Margaret Snell to she married Eddie Roots. So
Oh, no. It would be funny if they double-barreled it. Snell Roots. Imagine that.
Well, double-barreled it.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Eddie spells roots.
Do you find that it's a bit like, why
Well, I've
should
never
we?
thought about it, but yeah, I guess, I don't know. I guess
would be
the
a
kid has to be
difficult-
called something, so that would happen
Yeah.
because, blokes ruled the world back in the day.
Yeah, and to carry the male line, the heir, the
lineage.
whole lineage thing. So I feel like to preserve
got a problem
lineage
with
is
it.
not a bad idea. Like if we were running out of Osbornes, which we're not, there's plenty of us.
Yeah.
I would happily give up my name. I've got both. I use one for work and one for documents.
what's interesting is that, with due respect to the surname Osborne, it's not as starry a name as Star.
Yeah, but it's less porn.
Yeah, but if you had have gone with Nikki Star,
Nikki and Star combined.
everybody would think, I would imagine, that you change your name because you want to be a big star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can have porn name with porn name.
It sounds manufactured, which is why I never took it.
That's right.
Even though it's more memorable.
Yeah.
It's
Nikki Star.
Yeah.
But there is actually a porn star called Nikki Star.
Yeah, there is. She's a redhead
She's
in the
very
UK.
good.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
Yeah,
very
so
good.
I could never live up to that. So again,
Well, in fairness, have you seen her? Like some of the stuff she does.
Well, no.
Be silly.
you know a lot more about this than me. Mine was just a Google, and yours sounds
no,
like
she's excellent.
You clicked on the link, went through
Oh,
the
yeah.
paywall, and here we are.
Several paywalls.
So anyway, 13, 24, 10, have you taken your wife's surname?
Yeah, all right, that's
Or
interesting.
has your kid taken your wife's surname?
Yeah, okay.
I want to
seen
hear,
it.
yeah, the liberated of Brisbane.
The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne podcast.
Is it outrageous to be suggesting that women get to keep their surnames and men perhaps take their surnames? And a couple of rock, paper, scissored it over in America, and that's trending. I asked if anyone in Brisbane's done that. We've got Cohen from Capalaba. Cohen, how you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Oh, I like your energy. Needed that. Shot in the arm. So, Cohen, tell me, have you taken your wife's surname?
I have. I've taken my wife's surname.
Really? So, are you allowed to say what it is and the reason why?
Yeah, for sure. So my surname now is Holloway. And, like, I sort of took it because, like, I don't really see the need for tradition. Like, I thought it'd be a nice gesture. You know, she doesn't have any brothers in her side of the family, so no one wants to carry the name. So I thought I'd put my hand up and...
That's a good
here we
point.
are.
That's an interesting bit.
Yeah, the lineage, there it is. So,
'Cause if
continuing that
What
on.
were you?
What was that?
What was your surname?
Oh, Drury.
Drury.
Yeah.
Did you see get Dreary Cohen? Like everyone called you Dreary?
Drury.
Yeah, Dreary.
Drury to Holloway. I call that a push. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
do you guys know what a... So women have, like, a maiden name, right? That's, like, their name before they'll take the male
Yeah.
last name. Do you know what the male
What is it?
maiden? It's a bachelor's name.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, that does
Yeah.
make sense.
Bachelor name. His
Bachelor's
bachelor name was
Drury.
Drury, not Drury.
No, Drury. Sorry, it's already
yeah,
stuck.
Drury.
See, I can see why you took Holloway. Good choice.
What did your mates say? Were they get a bit of backlash about you're demasculating yourself?
I reckon they tried to have a crack, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
you
It's been a
can.
while now. Five years on, haven't looked back.
Yeah, but you don't shag your mates, do you, Cohen?
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, not with that attitude, you know.
Keep your missus happy. All right, who else have we got? We've got Joseph from Annerley. Joseph, tell me, what did
Hey.
you do and why?
I took my husband's surname.
Really? Okay, so
So what was that discussion?
It was a pretty simple discussion. I actually just chose it myself. I've got a very small family. I know I've had a pretty bad or hard to spell surname for a couple of decades, and I got this beautiful husband with a brilliant surname, and I just thought, oh, this is easy.
are you able to say what you went from to?
Yeah, it's Van Boven with the space, but it's small V, small V.
Oh, my God, I hate it already.
Yeah, I know.
Van
Trying to do that
Boven.
with flight, small
Yeah,
V's and stuff like
disaster.
that. Drove me insane.
And what
So
have
I
you changed to?
Cabachete.
Oh,
that's cool.
Cabachete.
And
Got it, okay.
And Joseph, like, I mean, I was going to say traditionally, but I mean, gay marriages haven't been around for that long. How's that decision usually made? Particularly, if it's two dudes getting married, like, who usually takes the name?
People usually, I don't know, it could be different for everyone.
Yeah.
They might keep their own surnames.
Keep their own.
So legally, I'm still both of those things. So
Right.
I could always change back. I mean, it is a big deal because obviously you got to go through ATO and Medicare and all of that sort of stuff. But
Yeah.
legally, I'm both names,
And
and so
also-
is everybody.
Interesting.
And now you're JC. That's you.
Yeah,
That is-
JC. That's pretty cool.
That was a little bit of the part of the decision.
Yeah, you are Jesus.
Step closer to
The
God, my
Messiah
friend.
is coming.
People.
We lost,
Oh.
we lost him.
Oh,
What
we
about
lost him.
Ryan out of Flinders View? Yeah, right. What do you got? What were you? What are you? What happened?
Yeah. Well, my wife was an Elmore, Elmore, and I'm a Moore, so we say she dropped the learner plate. She became a real Moore.
The Ash, Lutzi and Nikki Osborne podcast.